Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of ShopBeat, in which I catch you up on recent developments, acquisitions, and random stuff happening around the shop. These things that I'll be talking about here, I have been up to over the course of the last month and a half, I want to say, and just kind of catching you guys up on some little non-paying work stuff happening around the shop for the most part. So check it out. We're starting out here with this Gebruder Thiel number 3 die filer that I got, shipped to me from the East Coast. My sometime student Will Stelter came to visit me, and we worked on the old filer, got it freed up, started to get it moving, and he proceeded to make some bad puns as per usual.
And this filer is to die for.
Oh, stop it.
So I guess I used that joke before. It's kind of a reciprocating pun around here.
Bro, you're gonna give me a stroke. Just added this super neat old die filer to the obsolete German machine tools section of the shop next to the decal pantograph. This is going to be for a similar class of work, fitting up keyhole handles, hollow handles, making little parts and stuff that need to have parallel sides. Can fit a wide range of files in there. This is a Gebruder Thiel number 3 die filer. Post-war Germany, classic machine, 1948. And driving it with a VFD, so it's got a power upgrade. And I just need to fabricate some hold down arms for there and there, and we'll be away and filing.
In other news, I sent this empty wooden box that I created off to North Carolina. Empty except for two paperbacks so I could get the media rate. And what came back? This beat to death monstrosity. Yes, UPS had managed to drop this, I don't know how many times, but they dropped it, broke it, repackaged it, dropped it again, broke the tape. But miraculously, this remained inside completely unscathed. A new to me 12-inch 4-jaw lathe chuck. As you can see, this is a Horton chuck. It's completely steel, not even semi-steel, integral D6 mount, so perfect for my Pratt Whitney Model C 16-inch lathe. This is a very high-quality chuck from the oldest manufacturer of steel lathe chucks in the United States. Unfortunately, they're out of business now, but they made very nice stuff for a lot of years, and I'm really happy to have this fine example of their craft.
This chuck rules. Big old 12-inch 4-jaw. Runs super solid and smooth. Everything is bright and tight on it. Been needing one of these super bad.
Moving right along, I'd been having a few inconsistent results with my quenching recently, so I tracked it down to, I think my Parks 50 being 10 years old needs replaced. So I went ahead and bought 5 gallons from Texas Farrier Supply. That's a good company. This is some interesting stuff. Apparently it's about the best anti-scale and even decarb preventative surface coating that you can buy for knife making. A lot of South African knife makers use it. Niels Vandenberg in particular recommended it to me, and I've been needing to do some kind of complex heat treating on complex work that I don't want to scale up or decarb very much, if at all, so we're giving this a go. And check this out. Brunt Workwear gave me a pair of their Bolduc Wellington safety toe boots not long ago to try out, and I said I would say something about it if I liked them, and I do. They are nice and comfy. I found someone selling a brass letter pack for pantograph work on a Facebook group for $30 for a set of letters that would work for my pantograph. So I said, I will take it. And they showed up in the mail as advertised, quite usable condition. So I just kind of mocked them up and put those in there in some steel plates to hold them clamped down. And had a go at tracing them and cutting a little bit onto a trial workpiece.
Well, this is fun. I just cobbled up a quick set of rails to hold these letters down, and found me something to trace them with. And just chucked up a little bit of this paper micarta, and switched the ratio to 1 to 10. Cut out these nice little letters. Boy, those sure aren't. Oh, there's a focus. Come on, focus, you bugger. Yeah, check that out. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they say parting is such sweet grief, and I will miss this saw. I loved the color, and it actually was quite a useful machine as well. I dig that Powermatic logo. It's a wood saw, an 81, but I had slowed it down to about 100 surface feet per minute, so it would cut steel quite handily, but there were things about it that never were quite perfect, and so I was always low-key on the lookout for an upgrade. Yes, that's right. A 36-inch Dual Metal Master metal cutting bandsaw. Now, this just happened to show up outside the local steel supply and machine/welding shop that I go to not infrequently. Of course, I inquired about it, and they had acquired it in a omnibus machine deal. They were keeping some and selling some, and after I hounded them enough, they decided to sell me this machine. I am super stoked on it, and we're going to talk a little bit more about bringing it in the shop and stuff. Now, for some odd reason, machines immediately double in size as soon as you get them in the shop door, and this one was no exception. Fortunately, I didn't have to move my other giant bandsaw, but I've barely made enough room for it to get in the door. And speaking of barely enough room, that would be an overstatement of how much room I had when getting it through this man door into the smaller room of the shop. I was about 1/8 of an inch away of clearance away from having to take that table off to get this machine through the door, but I scooted it through on CrewForge V round stock rollers and managed to get it situated and ultimately installed in the machine room. It came with some rolls of blade. There's some 1/2-inch blade in the big roll and some 1/4-inch smaller contour sawing blades in the smaller rolls. So that was a nice plus to go along with it. Maybe 100 feet of the big roll. And I welded up some blades out of it, and it cuts just fine. 14 tooth, hardback carbon steel blade. And then, because I was trumpeting about this acquisition on the social medias, a friend of mine, metalworking friend of mine down in California, volunteered to send me this stuff that he'd had kicking around the shop and had no use for. More 1/2-inch by 14 TPI blade roll. Awesome, thank you. So with the help of a big old pinch bar or two and some rollers and some huffing and puffing and a little bit of electrical work and stuff, I got it installed. And I got it wired into the building electrical and fired it up and tried it out. And I will be showing you an actual video clip to end the bit about the saw here and kind of explain what I found. This machine is really big in here. It got twice as big as soon as I got it through the door of the shop somehow. But I've made it fit. The chart here is in good shape. Really cool old thing. Logo's good. I only got one set of guides with it, but they are in good shape with plenty of wear left, and they are the 1/2-inch guides, which is the blade I will be using on it almost all of the time. I'm going to do a little bit more in-depth of a video about everything once I get the time to, but the blade welder here works and stuff. I'll demo it later. And the tachometer is broken. I took it apart and it's toast, so I'm sourcing a replacement dual tachometer. The light here works. Nice vintage work light, original kit. And the air nozzle comes out here for blowing chips. Looks like the pump still works too. I gotta hook it back up. These knobs are still in good shape and work. This thing runs. Nice and smooth and quiet. Does a nice job of sawing. I open the cabinet up there. The tires are in pretty good shape. There's an info tag there. And I have separated the 120 volt operations on this saw from the 240 volt operations. They used to be integrated. There was a transformer that took 243 phase and
knocked it down to 120 volt single phase and split power legs off for that to power the single phase blade welder, single phase work light, single phase other work light and stuff. But on this one I've just run a plug out of this junction box after rewiring a little bit of stuff, and I can now plug the 120 volt applications in to the wall. Because I am making 3-phase for this thing with a phase perfect phase converter, and it is 3-phase Y. It's not delta, it's not center tapped or anything, so I don't have a neutral to run back, so I can make separate single phase 120 volt circuits and stuff. So for me it was just easier to create a secondary plug. Though the welder does work though on 2 hots of the 3-phase supply. It welds blades nicely, and I'm getting a replacement for the guts of this thing. Anyway, more about it later, but suffice it to say everything with the tack works really nice. This thing's from 1942 and it is a survivor.
Went out on my deck to have a coffee break, and it was just a beautiful golden afternoon, late summer, early autumn afternoon, with a thunderstorm rolling in from the east there, and the wind chimes going a little bit out over the yard, and just had to share that with you guys as we close this video. Thanks so much for watching.